Hi, today I'm going to tell you about my psychic experience. Now, I'm always very dubious about these so-called psychics, so I thought, it's lockdown. What does the future hold? Does it involve making more bloody banana bread? Who knows? So I went online, searched on Google for psychics, and booked a virtual psychic session. I was introduced to the lady and she had this huge kind of tarot card deck, and she said to me, she had a little headpiece in her ear, and she said, I'm talking to my spirit guides, and that these cards around me, apparently they're very strict and they do spill out, but they actually communicate to her. But the first thing she said is that I had work to do and I've got an exciting new change to my career. And I was like, what? Because I hadn't said anything at all. But that week before, I found out I had a brand new job. Like throughout the madness of lockdown, I was working part-time and I was really worried about not finding full-time employment and doing 10 hours a week at Aldi. But luckily, I managed to get a job. But I was like, how does this psychic, how did you know about that? How? So I was really surprised. So immediately when she said that, I was like, maybe this psychic thing, maybe there's some truth to it. So I was like, oh, okay, tell me a bit more. And then she's told me that I had a lot of work to do. And funnily enough, I had loads of work to do for this job. I had to get my driving license, passport, my certificates, I had to fill in training forms. So I was like, wow, she knows her stuff. The next thing she said I had a lot more inner strength than the others around me, and that my inner strength propels me forward while others give up. Right now, particularly this year, my inner strength isn't that great. I felt quite lonely, quite sad. I've had to do a lot of mental health boosting, so I was a bit confused about that. So maybe there was some truth there, I don't know, but I'll quite happily take that. That sounded quite good. Now the next thing she presented me, she got a card out and she said it was the King of Air. It said it represents me and that I move at a steady pace and that I need to work in partnerships with my work and my home life. And she said I'm quite a good diplomat. Now I've never had any diplomat experience, so I have no idea what she was talking about with this card. But she said, I'm a great manifester. Now, I had to Google what manifester was afterwards because I was really confused. But she said, I have a habit of wanting stuff and for it just to magically happen. And then that's when I lost it. I thought, that's not happened. I had recently made a list. I had heard about a book called The Secret, where you do this cosmic asking. You ask the universe for stuff. And I made a list of about 10 things. I don't think one of them actually came true, but in a very weird way. So when I wrote that list and virtually none of it came true, I kind of feel that I'm not a manifester. But the fact she said I was like, right, okay, yeah, I'm no manifester. Another thing she said to me is that in July and August of 2021, there will be a bump in the world for me. She said that she is feeling wind. Like, obviously, that can be seen in many different ways. That she said that there will be a delay and I may feel less in control, but there was something that will throw my plans off in a positive fashion. Now, I do know my work probation is round about that period, so I'm a bit worried it has something to do with that. But she said it was time sensitive and be a catalyst in getting pleasure of everyday things. I need to enjoy the smaller things in life, like maybe some sort of injury, or maybe I've got a feeling it might be like a baby or something. Like she said, it's there might be a delay and I feel less in control, but it'll bring me like happiness. But at the moment, it doesn't look like there's any ladies on the horizon, so some sort of miracle baby will literally be a bloody miracle. I expect it to turn up on my doorstep. And it said the 9 of Water card will bring me contentment and potential fulfillment. Now, she said through this card, it's known that I do things to the extreme. I need to incorporate more of the spiritual side into my everyday working life, and it's rare for me to come out of my comfort zone. Now, I do believe in spiritual side when it comes to meditation, and I completely forget to do meditation because even though I've taught it, it's really hard for me to actually do it for myself. It's really hard for me to be like, right, let's sit down still for 5 minutes. It just feels like I've got so much stuff to do. I don't want to stay sat down and do nothing. But maybe spiritual side, I don't know if she meant like pull out the tarot cards and get some healing crystals, or she did mean meditation. But she did have a point. I do need to meditate more because I get myself into a bit of stress. I start thinking about like the past, the present, the future, exes, TV shows, anything. And then I lose track of my like current state. So yes, maybe I do need to be a bit more spiritual, particularly my work, because I get really overwhelmed and I just kind of self-implode. Right, okay. But then she brought a card out of it being a raven. Now apparently this is a messenger bird bringing in lots of ancient wisdom, and that you learn from your past self from a higher realm. Okay, and there'll be a strong female presence with a beautiful, gentle energy. So then I thought, okay, this sounds good. Beautiful female presence, I'd like that. What time are you appearing? I need to find the balance between a divine masculine and a divine feminine and a shamanic path similar to the medicine man. When she started saying stuff like this, I did kind of get a bit confused and roll my eyes a bit. But she said there'll be an invitation to bring inner peace and growth. So yeah, it does sound quite interesting, and I don't know how I'm going to balance the divine masculine and feminine. I mean, I'm quite an effeminate person as it is, so I feel I've got quite a nice balance between being a lad and a quite enduring, effeminate man. But I'm quite looking forward to a strong female presence because I would love to have a lady in my life. So then she asked me if I had any questions, and one of the main questions I had is that I kind of struggle to make strong foundations for friendships. I struggle to have clear friends. So, you know, I have loads of millions of acquaintances, millions of people I'd say hi to in the street, but you know, I find it hard to actually build a solid friendship where I can really trust and commit myself to that person. So I said to her, how do I connect better with people? She said to me that I tend to want to self-improve other people, that they're not as strong as me, and that it hurts their ego. You know, if I see that people have got issues or they've got stuff they want to overcome, I don't burden them with my great advice. I just let them do their thing. If they come to me and they want advice, I'll happily give it to them. But she said there's an emotional hurt in my past. Well, who doesn't have emotional hurt? But I'm carrying a lot of guilt about previous stuff, or I'm carrying a lot of self-blame. And to be honest, yeah, there is elements of my previous relationship which kind of went terribly wrong. Everyone's got some emotional hurt, so I wasn't really convinced by that. But she said my spiritual path, there might be a romantic connection, and that there will be protections from the angelic realms. Okay, now she left me with the Merlin card. I will go on a special journey to find balance in my life. I have the energy of Merlin and to integrate others' aspects and lead to great heights. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was quite fun, although it was very long-winded, and a lot of the times I kind of felt a bit like, right, okay, when she was talking about these alive cards. But it can be quite fun, and when it hits a nail on the head, it's really exciting to know that someone might be able to predict your spiritual vibes. It's more of a treat to see how much she guesses right, as opposed to the actual spiritual side. And if you're into the spiritual side, I definitely recommend it, but it just feels like a bit of hokum to the average person. So yeah, I would say a mixed bag for psychic readings.